morning, everyone. Myself Alfia, and our GD topic is peer pressure. What is peer pressure? Firstly, peer pressure is something which anybody is doing, and you want the same thing to do, just to them to like. You want them to like that habit of yours because they are doing. Why you are doing? Because they are doing the same thing. And it can be of two types. It can be of negative, it can be negative also, and it can be positive also. The negative peer pressure is if you are pressurizing someone to do something, and positive peer pressure is you are encouraging somebody to do something. So that's the peer pressure of two types.
Okay, so peer pressure, as she talk about like what is the definition. So I will talk like I will divide it into the further like in the directly peer pressure, direct peer pressure, indirect peer pressure, unspoken peer pressure, and spoken peer pressure. Like you said, negative and positive. So we can divide into the different groups. So it's kind of a like take an example of a student who is preparing for NEET or JEE exam. So what they feel pressure because of the it's kind of indirectly or unspoken peer pressure, because nobody sometimes parents do pressurize children to like of having a good marks for this kind of a thing, but somehow student also feel pressurized because of the society norms, like you have to be 90% above the 90%, and you you need to clear that particular exam. So it's kind of indirectly peer pressure they are having, and that's kind of peer pressure is like not very good for the student, because that's why they are doing suicide or this kind of a thing, which is not good.
Like as he said, they gave the example of students preparing for NEET, JEE, or any other exam. If a student want to crack, and so in such case, his surrounding, his friends or his family members play a major role in what will be the nature of that student also. Like the peer pressure can impact that student both in positive way also and in negative way also. Like if a student is a very let us suppose that student is an average student, you know, and at that time his friends are supporting him and are constantly motivating him, encouraging him to study hard, to give his best, and so that person might feel confident and have a positive mindset, and that's why this could boost his all of his abilities. And on the same time, if his surrounding is not that much good, if like for example he is the best person, studious person in his friend circle, and everybody is involved in bad activities like bunking the classes or playing sports or any other thing, so this could distract his from his studies. So that's the impact of peer pressure.
So as he said, divided peer pressure, both positive and negative. So I personally believe like peer pressure somehow is a positive thing, because what happens now, students nowadays students think like we are very free. We don't need to do study in a day at least 10-12 hours, and they do one thing, like when their exam came, just before 1 week or one night they do study. So it's a not good thing. Because of that they are not able to getting good marks in their exam. So I think peer pressure is it's a positive thing, because of like what happens now when student have some kind of pressure, so he do that particular work on regular basis. So that's all.
Like it's like peer, it depend on the company to company. Like if we have a, like some peers advise us and they give us advice like what is your strength, and like you are lacking in this, and they motivate you to achieve your strength. And they also they also tell about your personal growth, and boost up your self esteem.
I'll talk about the initial phases of life when you need to take some decisions of your life. In 10th standard, when you are at 10th standard, you just come after the age of adolescence, or you hit the maturity, and after that, at that time you need to take some decisions of your life, like which subject you are going to pick in your plus one. So in our society, the mentality of our maximum people in the society is that they make the priority of the subjects, means they prioritize the subjects, like in their views or their point of views, the science is at the top, after that commerce, and after that arts. If a student who wants to pursue his means he wants to pursue his higher studies or studies in art subject, then due to pressure, and many of his friends are taking science stream, he also in pressure he picked the science stream, and after what will happen with him, he will not he'll not able to know about what will happen with me, because it is not my happy place, it is not my area of interest. Then also nevertheless of their interest, they decide their future, or they decide their subjects by the pressure of parents or by the pressure of friends. So it should not be there.
Peer pressure, it can be influenced by the people to do something on the behalf of pressure, that as we know that it is good or bad, but sometimes we are sitting in a group, and some people are smoking, that they force to smoke a cigarette, but sometimes we are in a pressure that we can do it. In my behalf, that there are pressure are good, bad, negative, positive. So good peer pressure means to obey your parents, or going to school, doing a job in a right time. Or bad peer means that we not obeying some people, or not doing anything on time. So what happened now? Why in peer pressure we feel pressure to do same thing that other person is doing. For example, that we are living in a rooms, and there are a group of 3 people, and 2 people are live neat and clean, and third person is not too much. But by seeing that third person is also be good, so it is a type of pressure, positive pressure. But sometimes it's a negative pressure, that we are in a bad habit with the bad peoples. It converted into negative peer pressure.
I think that peer pressure is nowadays everywhere. Everyone is facing peer pressure, and because of peer pressure, there are many increase in the number of students who are preparing for government exam, because they think that there is no job rather than government job. And I think that there are many institutions open for government exam because of that peer pressure. Because government job is that job, everyone think that it is secure, whether they are paying you 20k or 30k only. And peer pressure is, as you all said, that there are 2 types of peer pressure, positive and negative. I think that there are many negative way of peer pressure, because there are, if students go in a college, they are addicted to drugs and cigarettes, as you said, because it is all about peer pressure. They are in school, they are not that type of student, but in college they become that type of student. I think that it's all about peer pressure.
So I think that the why people are so much in the peer pressure, because everyone wants that they will be valued and their thoughts will be valued in front of anyone. Like if we talk about friends, so they want that their friends listen to them or their thoughts, and even it has happened because we just doing something and we want that we will be good in that particular thing, and people should accept us as we are or as our thoughts. That's why we just try to be like that person. So what happened that we have to we can do just we have to wisely accept or choose our surroundings, like which type of surrounding we are living, because even if we know that we are not in a good people with the good people, and we think that we will be okay, we will survive there and we will not get anything from that particular person. But I think that everywhere, even it is a bit, but you will get something from that person. If we talk about in a pain, you just maybe fry garlic or onion paste, even you put out outside from the pan, and then you fry something else, but still you will get some smell of garlic and onion paste from that particular. So that's why we have to choose our surrounding wisely.
Like relatives are the biggest enemy. They giving a like more and more pressure to the children and like students. They are saying that my child or that see that boy they are getting a good marks in exam or in competitive exam and you are not getting that good marks. So they are only demotivating you and. That leads to like most of the students are getting so demotivated and they feel depressed and they also attempt a suicide because of that.
I think people from all ages feel the peer pressure, but kids and adults are more vulnerable to this peer pressure because they want everyone to respect them and acknowledge them. So that's why they think if they did not do this and do that, people will not acknowledge them and respect them. And I personally believe peer pressure, promote unhealthy type of competition between kids. They think he is doing that, so I have to do this and that. And like 75% of kids or adults start drinking alcohol and doing this kind of drugs because they think it's a cool thing. So I think peer pressure somehow pressurizes kids to do unhealthy things.
I remember a positive peer pressure in Indore that I have seen in 4-5 years. That everyone, if you see a few years ago, people spit everywhere, throw garbage everywhere. By seeing when the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan came, that people aware of that thing. Not immediately people do such type of thing, but seeing pressure of people that what happened now. Sometimes I also remember that I threw a packet of chips. So one man came and said that keep your packet on your bag. So this type of pressure don't not throw garbage here and there, and people also aware of that type of thing that in India, our Indore is number one.
I think that every student is pressurized that the Sarmaji's kid is doing that, so you have to do that only, because the student know that I am preparing for JEE exam and I don't know whether I am able to crack the exam or not. Then also he is preparing for that exam and dropping the year and 2-3. There are many students who drop 2 to 3 years only. So I think that it is also.
As she told and as Chetan Bhai also told, that surrounding must be good. If you are sometime what happens, if you are in a good surrounding and he is the person with whom you are living, he is a studious, but if you are not okay with him, you are not comfortable, then you can leave and you can decide others as you, if you are not free. If I want to ask a question, that if you are living with any of your partner, and if he's a good student, he is studious and he is a topper in his coaching institute, but you are in a different coaching institute, you are doing different thing, but you are not comfortable, then what will you do?
Like I think that they are compatible for each other and they will motivate like each other. Like I am doing this, like you are talking about personally a partner, so they will be like partner what do whenever they are at home, they talk about what they did in whole day, and this is the talking is only the thing, because they are telling that I did this and the one she is telling that I did this, and this is something like it is also motivation that they are doing good and we can also do the good.
But overall, but here the one person from the two, one person is not feeling freely. He's feeling that I'm not feeling good, or I'm not free here. Sometimes he's thinking like that. Then what will he do?
It happens many times when your partner is really good and you are not that much good, so you
are not okay. If he is good, then also, but sometimes you feel that he's not good for. Means he is studious, but I am not feeling good with him. If
okay, then you are not compatible, then you should leave that person, maybe because you are not comfortable with that person, because when there is no future, then why you are wasting your time on that particular person?
Okay. Yeah, that's why sometimes pressure is from our family. Pressure is that you should be with a good company and good partner, and you should live with a person who is studious and who will help you. But if you are not okay, then you can leave. If you have confidence within you that I can alone or with someone others I can do, then you can leave.
Okay, so I think peer pressure comes more naturally. We didn't recognize it. Like if we take example of family, if husband or wife or parents both are IAS officer. Okay, so there that particular peer pressure come naturally that his child or their child must be an IAS officer, and this kind of thing. Like parents are doctor, both are doctors, so it's come naturally that you should be a doctor and this kind. So it's come naturally more sometimes. Like we talk about the society pressure and this kind of, but it's come more naturally in the family first. Okay, and we talk about the in the friends group. Like take example, if we have a friends and everybody has a like girlfriend or boyfriend. So if one person don't have any girlfriend boyfriend, so it's more come naturally you should also get into the relationship. Okay, so this kind of a thing like negative peer pressure is more dominant in the positive like in comparison to the positive peer pressure. So we should acknowledge this kind of a thing.
So like Rohan said, like most of the students in Indore are preparing for this UPSC, MPPSC stuff because of this peer pressure. You know, even my parents forced me to do this MPPSC, UPSC thing, but I barely dodged that bullet. But this is happening all over the world because of some kids and some social groups. People force their kids to do this and that kind of stuff. In past few decades, IT is on the boom. So everyone is going for IT. Parents are forcing their kids to go for IT. Nowadays, they are forcing their kids for UPSC. So this is very bad, and we have to, this is a very concerning thing for our society as well.
So as I earlier said, positive peer pressure is good. So the one point that I also want to add in that particular GD, like peer pressure is also helpful in our decision making. What happens, I have seen that lots of children after their 10th class, they are not be able to take a right field for their future. At that time they're more confused. So at that time they take advice from other person, and other person gave some advice, and because of other person's advice they are able to choose that particular field actually they want in go. And till the end it depends on in which field we want to go. So till the end we have to choose. So we can't say like peer pressure harm us.
There are some positive way of peer pressure also, because there are court. Like if you are a loser and if you accompanied yourself in a winner companies, so I think that they will make you a winner. And it is a quote that it shows that there is a positive side of peer pressure also. And if you want to become a successful, then you should engage yourself in a quality people, then they will make you successfully.
I think peer pressure is like a truth or dare game. If you know about a dare is not good for you, by your friend pressure for you, you do a dare. So I think peer pressure is like a truth or dare game. If you most of time it's your friend is a pressure for you, you smoking, you drinking, but it is not good for you. But sometimes it's a good. Your friend pressure for you, you do a study, you do a good work for you.
Okay, so it's more about like how you take that particular pressure. Okay, like if you talk about that particular class, so everybody is speaking on that particular topic, and if someone is not speaking this, he also or she also feel pressure, like I should also speak on that particular so how you take it is more important, like about like peer pressure. So
I totally agree. I was also adding this point only that you all are discussing that it's depend on surrounding. Yeah, it's totally depend on the surrounding. But you know, it depends on you too, that how you want to take it. So you should take it. You should not pressurize yourself for certain things, like he or she is doing the same. So we should avoid this. It's better for us only. So the conclusion for this GD is, I guess. It's like peer pressure comes, it's up to you that how you take people, that what they are doing, what they are not doing. So you should not think that what they are good at this, similarly you will be good at them, or if you think that they are doing that and you should do that also, then it's not that it will result in the same as they are having. So it is that